What is going on, everybody? Skeptics coming back to you with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Vanguard beta. Yeah, I know. Interesting commentary, huh? I'm really trying hard to like this Vanguard beta, guys. I really am. It's not bad. It's not. It's just there are elements of it that really are not enjoyable at all. I think they could have a good game here if they really change the way the map flow and spawn system works, because I cannot get into this multiplayer at all. I don't know if it's the skill-based matchmaking. I don't know if it's the sweaty nature of Call of Duty nowadays. I don't know if it's because 6v6 is pretty much dead. I don't know if it's the assault maps. It's hard to really isolate the problem, but I am trying hard to like it. I do play it. I'm probably going to play it out throughout the year, but there's just something off about it that I quite can't put my finger on. So I want to discuss some of the things that I enjoy and some of the things that I don't. For the most part, I think that there are more pros than cons, but the cons to me are so crucial that it makes the game very unplayable. And I guess we'll have to wait until the rest of the game comes out, experience the campaign, experience the battle royale, experience the zombies before we can make an overall impression. But right now, these maps and the pacing system, I'm just not really enjoying it at all. So the pros to me right now are the movement systems, the gunplay, and sort of the graphics. So what I mean by movement is if you go and play Cold War and then play Vanguard or vice versa, there is a stark difference in the movement. And now I played on PlayStation initially for the first weekend and the movement was trash, but I've been playing on PC and it has been phenomenal. The movement is great. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like tactical sprint. I don't mind it. I think it's fine because I'm not a multiplayer person first. I'm a zombies player first, then a multiplayer player second. So to me, tactical sprint is actually nice because I feel like I am just zipping all over the map. The sliding is way better than Cold War. Cold War had great sliding and speed mechanics inside of their game, and then they nerfed it to hell. I don't know why, because it was so much fun zipping and sliding all over the place. It was great, but they changed it. Whatever. In Vanguard, it feels really good. Footsteps, they're not terrible. Audio is supposedly going to get a huge pass coming up. They're collecting a lot of data. They say they're going to fix it, so that's good. Right now, audio it's getting better. I can tell that it's evolved since Friday. It's now Sunday. But I gotta say, I mean, it still needs work in the audio department. The guns sound like they all have suppressors on, and then when there's actually suppressors on guns, you can't hear them for shit. But the movement feels really good. I like sliding around the map. You can mantle it and everything. I don't think that the mounting system is bad since you can move quickly on it. It's a pretty good system. I enjoy it. Now, when it comes to the gunplay, I kind of go back and forth, but I think it's more pro than con. The guns feel great. They sound like shit, but they're apparently getting fixed, I guess, which is what this beta is for, to fix stuff like this. But there are just some guns that feel awful, like the M1 Garand. When I'm running around and then I'm trying to just like shoot somebody that's in my path, it takes 45 seconds in order to shoot that guy because the sprint out time is busted. And this is the case on most of the rifles, not so much the assault rifles, but the tactical rifles or the snipers, which makes sense for the snipers. But for these other weapons, it's like, I don't quite understand why it's taking me 5 seconds to pull out my M1 Garand when I'm just regularly running, not even tac sprinting. And even if I was tac sprinting, it shouldn't take that long. So I've been mostly sticking with SMGs, making sure my hip fire is super tight so that I can just fire right away and not really have to deal with ADSing unless, you know, my enemy's far away. The attachment system is very overwhelming and I'm going to have to explore that more. I think I'll find what works for me better through zombies playthroughs rather than multiplayer playthroughs, because I like to cater my guns to basically be fast as possible, and I didn't unlock everything, so in time I'm assuming I will have a better understanding about that. It seems a little overwhelming, but I just got to learn it. No other way around it. Now let's move on to graphics. This is kind of lead us into the cons section. I know this video is kind of sounding like a whole cons thing, but I like the gunplay. I like the movement. The graphics are decent, and what I mean by decent is the art direction is interesting. I like this vibrant yet gritty world that they're trying to create. I think it's going to translate well into zombies. I think it's going to translate well into the campaign. For multiplayer, it's a little overwhelming because you can't see a damn thing. Now, they did turn distortion off for now. I don't know how long that's going to be off. Hopefully it's off permanently and they can make some of the textures look a little more refined so I can actually see what the hell is going on. The difference between the player and the environment is actually kind of pretty hard to discern. But the next set of cons really is all the same thing. It's the maps, the pacing of the maps themselves, and then the combat pacing system and the ideas behind it. The maps suck. They are actually garbage. For the first time ever, I understand. Now, since I've been a zombies guy for my whole life, well, not my whole life, but you know what I mean, for a majority of my COD experience, I never really understood the plight of the multiplayer player, for lack of a better term. And now I get it. I was playing Vanguard and something clicked in my brain and I understand how to play multiplayer now. I went to Cold War immediately after I played a game of Vanguard and just wiped the other team out. I had like a 20 kill streak and I was like, oh my gosh, I get it now. It makes sense. So I'm really starting to understand the multiplayer fundamentals, what makes good maps, what makes bad maps. I'm starting to get it, is basically what I'm trying to say. Because otherwise I don't always feel like it's my place to critique Call of Duty multiplayer when I'm more of a zombies guy, but I think I'm starting to understand it. And what is troubling me with Vanguard is that these maps play so fast, which I like because I can run through them as the movement system is good, but there are 7,000 directions and 7,000 jabillion holes for other players to run through. Now with Treyarch maps, you kind of know your exits and entry points, you know where you can hide and where you can't hide, you know what the pros and cons of staying in a certain area and camping or kind of patrolling one area are, you understand where your back is exposed and where your front is not. Like you understand things because Treyarch actually, compared to Vanguard, does a really good job with map design. Vanguard's maps are like playing in a sponge that is just human size. There are holes everywhere, and since you can shoot through everything and break through everything with the wood system that you can punch through or whatever, it's basically the most porous map experience of all time. So most of my gunfights are not between people in front of me. They're in between people to the side of me and to behind me. And when I'm trying to shoot somebody, they're usually running away from me or they don't even know I'm there. So most of my gunfights are not even with people. They're with somebody that's not even aware they're trying to shoot somebody else or camp or shoot another person. They're in the middle of a gunfight and I just take them over. I can't imagine that is by accident because they said they were tuning these spawns, which they are better than they were last weekend, but I'm still running up behind people. I'm never engaging them face to face. And it does happen. Usually when it does, there's like 3 people to 1. So I'm not quite sure what the hell is going on with that. I don't know if that's an accident. I don't know if it's intentional. It seems like it's intentional because this whole game feels like it's designed to slow you down, which is ironic because you can run fast as hell. So I'm running fast as hell. I get in a gunfight. I try to reload and then I get stuck. I just don't quite get the combat engaging experience. Every map feels super slow yet super chaotic depending on what you're doing. So for example, if I'm playing on Eagle's Nest, the new map that they launched this weekend, and I'm playing on tactical basically the whole time because I don't like the other combat pacing systems, which we're going to talk about in a second. When it's just 6v6, the map feels barren, and then all of a sudden I walk into a room, there's like 30 people shooting me from the side to the back every time without fail. So because it's a larger map, most of the maps are a little larger, they're catered to this combat pacing system so that they can fit 14 players or 10 players or whatever. So when you do 6v6, it feels like there's nothing going on until you get shot in the back 17 times. So I don't like that. It's this mix of slow and chaotic, or slow or chaotic if you want to play the higher combat pacing, which let's talk about that. The combat pacing is an interesting idea, and I think it sounds cool on paper, but I don't find it to be translating well. The only modes that are playable, in my opinion, are the tactical and the assault. Blitz is just, it's not fun. I don't enjoy dying and respawning, dying and respawning, dying and respawning on every single map. There is this theory that I have with Call of Duty in general, and it's that they want to make every single experience in the game the same. You can hear them in their multiplayer reveal thing or whatever the hell it was called, where the woman at the table was talking to the guy and she says, we want every map to be able to play like Shipment. Why? Why do you want that? I go to Shipment because I want to play Shipment. I don't go to Red Star to play Shipment. I go to Red Star to play Red Star. I go to the Pines map to play Pines and Black Ops Cold War. I go to Raid to play Raid. Every map should have its own personality. And now they started doing this in Zombies too. And it really seems like the franchise wants to do this new thing where every map plays the same so that everybody's catered to. Every Zombies map has the same perks, the same weapons, easy quests so that everyone has access to it. There's no working towards getting good at something and learning and figuring it out. Like, at least Treyarch is still kind of keeping that a little bit, but I mean, they blew it with Zombies and Cold War as far as having each map have its own unique feel and experience. But now they're doing it to multiplayer in a way that is even more drastic than it was before. Because I know multiplayer fans were not happy with Cold War with all this skill-based matchmaking and made every game a sweatfest. Well, now every map plays the same and is a sweatfest. So enjoy that. I think the last con I have has to do with the the kill streak system. I like kill streaks, I do, but no one's playing the objective. I know this is a common complaint, but no one's playing the objective. I don't see the point. Like, I'm not even really playing it, and I like objective modes, and it's just a little frustrating when I like earn all this score for nothing. I guess it gets taken away from you either way. Like, if I get a bunch of score and I get killed, or I get a bunch of kills and get killed, either way it's going to get taken away from me, and it makes my kills feel way more meaningful. That being said, most of the time I'm dying, I'm just getting shot in the back. And I gotta say, man, this Vanguard beta has taught me a lot. It's really shown me how to be good at multiplayer. Like, I'm not an amazing player, I'm still not great, but something I was never really doing before was like watching my six as much as I thought I needed to, because it's like run and gun Call of Duty stuff. But now that I've been playing a little more tactfully, because in Vanguard everyone's behind you all the time or to the side of you, I'm really starting to understand the movement. And yeah, whatever, you can call me a noob, I don't care, but it taught me that, so that's a good thing. So I'm positive in that regard, but for the most part, this beta is just really confusing. It feels very polarizing emotionally. Like, I'm not sure how to feel. I like the way the game plays and feels, but I hate the interaction with other players and the maps and the combat pacing system. I really don't think we're going to be able to determine how good this game is or isn't until we see the campaign, until we see zombies, until we see Warzone, because Warzone and zombies, in my opinion, will probably hold up the moat. If Cold War Zombies is as successful as they claim it is, then Vanguard Zombies should be too. But I don't know, man. I can't get a read. The community feels so split, and it makes me just not even want to play. But I mean, I still am, because I enjoy first-person shooters, but I just don't know how to feel. So I'm curious to how you guys are feeling. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, that's going to do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you stick around if you are interested in this type of content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.